I wrote Structural Combat, and today I want to read some of it to you. People often think they are morally superior to criminals because they've never been forced into circumstances brutal enough to convince them to break laws to gain safety. I want the reader to truly consider the possibility that the only reason you aren't a criminal is because you don't have to break laws to seek asylum. If you, with the brain you have right now, were deprived of safety, self-ownership, and agency, while enduring cruel violence for long enough, you would likely be willing to break laws for self-preservation, for dignity, and for the well-being of yourself and your family. Under different circumstances, you would be a completely different person. The goal is the establishment of a society that does not force desperation upon hundreds of thousands of people. Suicides and overdoses are known as deaths of despair, because without the sense of overwhelming despair and a desperate need to escape it, they would almost never occur. And so, I see the despair caused by economic conditions to be structurally violent. Lives lost to suicide and overdose are evidence that people are failed to death by our systems. And quote, "Art embraced me. She was the bioluminescent gleam when I was submerged in troubled waters. She was the shine through the murk to lead me to her reaching arms. She would cast away the clawed shadows of a reality too dense for me to breathe within. She would hold me to her heart, warm the tender skin of my imagination with colored light. She'd bless my ears with her musing whispers, and within that moment, I would entirely forget that I was drowning. It was she who saved me, so the needle wouldn't have to years later. She was the angel who heard my young sobs as a prayer and found me. Now, I feel the weight and pressure of unlived years pressing down upon early graves across the nation. She is calling me up, encouraging me to leave her in the depths as I rise to the surface. She assures me that if I leave her, I'll answer prayers. But how could I ever be ready to let her go? The truth is, there is nothing I did as a toddler to choose the effect of crayons on paper. I didn't see some seminar about the healing power of art therapy. I wasn't presented with studies about the positive parasympathetic effects of the creative process. No one explained to me that drawing was an effective means of emotional self-regulation. I did not make a wise, informed decision about how I would invest my identity in art as a way to save my life from severe depression years later. The simplest way to say it is that I did not masterfully dodge the bullet of substance addiction. That proverbial bullet missed me by grace or dumb luck. There is a very real possibility, and it's obvious to me, that the only real difference between myself and, I hate this word, a junkie who overdosed, is that I accidentally found an escape that wasn't heroin. Addiction is the mother in the shadows, waiting with open arms to hold children who found too little embrace in their parents, peers, economy, or culture. The most uncomfortable thing we need to admit if we want to take steps in healing our world is that addiction is a lifesaver, that every day addiction rescues the sons and daughters from the maw of suicide by the thousands. Disassociation is a legitimate strategy for survival. It's just dangerous and risky, and one that ripens with pain, and in time will rot families apart and cost one too many lives. Addiction is a substitute for love, a strategy of surviving isolation with diminishing returns. The most accurate way to see overdose is not that someone put too much of a substance into their body. That's merely the symptomatic ice above the surface of the water. The most accurate way to see overdose in almost every case, is that someone has gradually died of a broken heart over the course of many years. Those are the causal miles of ice beneath the surface that span into deeper waters." End quote.